As a mass comm prof, what can you say about celebrities running for public office?
There's nothing wrong with anybody running for public office, but of course, as a celebrity, you must be able to present the proper credentials as to why you want to run. The tendency of some celebrities is that they see public office as a fallback to an irrelevant career. Okay, so they're rendering themselves obsolete in the entertainment industry, so now they want to go into public service. So that for me is unacceptable because, well, as an old saying goes, public service is a public trust. So you should have service to the people in mind when you seek an elective position. So anyway, to sum up, there's nothing discriminatory and there's nothing wrong about a particular celebrity. By celebrity, I hope you mean an actor, a singer, or an athlete, right? Those who are publicly known. There's nothing wrong if they want to run for public office, but of course, they have to prove that they have the capability to do so.
So what do you think motivates these celebrities to run for positions in the government?
It depends on the particular celebrity. But of course, there are, without naming names, there are some celebrities who would see public office as I mentioned a while ago, a fallback to, or something that would help revive their career as entertainers, or sometimes these are, for lack of a better term, you know the term fame whore. Fame whore. Okay. Anyway, so they sometimes would want to be in the public eye, and part of public service is of course being seen by the public, being seen by people, because you get to be present in many of the public functions that go with the performance of your particular position with your particular position in government. So that's one motivation. But of course, that doesn't mean that that's true for all celebrities. I would like to think that there are celebrities who mean well, so they really want to serve their constituents properly, and people would remember them more for that. Yeah.
So aside from the advantages you mentioned, what are the disadvantages of celebrities running for office?
Sometimes there are celebrities who are quite unprepared as regards running for office, so once they win, they end up not knowing what to do. There's a particular senator who comes to mind, for example, who ran for public office and got elected by virtue of his being popular, because he used to be a very, well, his movies in the past did well in the box office. So what he did, from what I know, is that he ended up hiring several consultants, but these consultants still didn't help a lot in the performance of his functions, because he wouldn't listen to these consultants, and he would rather go about his own ways as regards the process of legislation in the Senate. So that could be quite problematic if you just think that you could win. The mentality of people should be, what do you do after winning? If there's something that we can learn from the late Dolphy, when he was asked why is it that he doesn't want to run for any elected position, what he said in Filipino was, ano ang gagawin ko kung manalo ako? So what he had in mind was that, well, number one, he's working on the assumption that he has the capability to win. Okay, and he's not ashamed to brag about it because his Dolphy is popular. But he's humble enough to acknowledge that he may not be able to do well as a public official, because that's not his forte. He knows entertainment a lot. He knows how to make good movies. But as far as making good laws are concerned, as far as diplomacy is concerned, that's not his expertise. So there was an acknowledgement on his part.
So do you think incumbent celebrity politicians perform their job well?
It's hard to generalize. we have to look at particular circumstances. For example, the late Rogelio de la Rosa, of course you guys are too young to remember him. He's an actor, but at the same time he's able to fulfill his job as a government official. So his being an actor wasn't an impediment to good public office. There are a lot of forgettable local officials. Well, there are some examples who come to mind. Yeah, but maybe, yeah, perhaps you could mention them. The problem is, yeah, okay, I remember her name now. Aiko Melendres, for example, was an official of Quezon City. Can't recall if she's a councilor or what, but what did she do? Okay, people don't know that much about what he did. Anjo Iliana, I think, was a councilor, I don't know whether at present or in the past. So there are cases like that. As far as the Senate is concerned, yeah, Ramon Revilla comes to mind. He was able to win a seat in the Senate, but in terms of track record, there's nothing spectacular as regards what he did.
Do you know any celebrities running for 2013 elections?
Yeah, but of course it's your job to do research as to who they are. But as far as the Senate is concerned, the problem with celebritification is this. It's not just an issue of, I think, the focus of your research, which is celebrities running for public office. Sometimes the reverse is true. A politician would try to achieve celebrity status and then would use that celebrity status to beef up his or her electoral stock. That's the formula adopted by, let's say, Chis Escudero, okay, who decided to, you know, become a product endorser, a host on Chris TV, and there was a time when Miriam Defensor Santiago, who was already a politician, decided to appear in some sitcoms so that she could prove that she can act. Well, she can act, of course, but still, this helped beef up her career, well, as a politician, as I mentioned a while ago. Sometimes there are politicians who would want to reinvent themselves, not as actors but as journalists. Teddy Boy Locsin is a good example where from journalism he decided to go into public service to run for office, and then after serving in Congress decided to go back to journalism. Ted Filon, it's the same case. Noli Boy de Castro, of course. Yeah. Lauren de Garda, for a time, after going to the Senate, decided to go back to journalism to, you know, to have something to do, and so that she could be still in the public eye. So these are the dynamics that we have to look at with regard to celebrities, because it's not just a simple actor going into politics scenario. Sometimes it's more complicated than that.
Will you vote for celebrities running for 2013 elections?
It depends on their track record, of course, and in their their track record in terms of public service, and of course in their program of action. So I wouldn't be voting for a particular candidate for the simple reason that he or she is a good actor. For example, if I were in Batangas, where Vilma Santos is lording it over, I will try to look at what her track record is, okay, and then see if she's worth voting for. Anyway, for the record, I live in Marikina, and from what I know, there are no celebrities running for public office, at least in Marikina Heights. As far as the Senate is concerned, I don't think there are